Okay, so you join us after the Spurs game. 1-0 ended up. We all saw it in one way or another. If you can just tell us quickly how you did it. I know, Mikey, you went and saw it. Is that right?
Yup.
Awesome. Jamie, is it the
I
usual
watched the
routine?
10-minute highlights
Yeah, there
as
you
I was
go.
at another FA Cup game today.
Okay. Tiz, you were otherwise occupied? Did you get to catch
Yeah,
the
I was at a non-league fixture. So I've just catched the highlights.
highlights as well? But we can still give our overall impressions of it. We might do a quick run out of what happened, but we'll kind of keep that a little bit briefer than usual just because we didn't really see it that much. It's quite difficult to try and get them apart from the highlights. So, but if we do, we'll kind of go over to Mikey, who did see it in person and can give us the overall impression. So might as well go to him first. Mikey, your overall impressions of the game?
We probably should have won it. I mean, Spurs took their chances when they got them. There weren't many, but most of them did come from Danso's side. So I didn't think Danso had a very good game today, and I think it shows why he's not in the first team and the other players are.
Yeah.
No, Ings probably should have got on the score sheet, but it just didn't come off for him today. Boufal had a good impact when he came on with the goal. Adams didn't really get too much of a run around either. He didn't really touch the ball when he came in. But overall, it was a good squad performance, and we deserved something from the game. We deserved to be in the fifth round draw. So thankfully, we got it, even when we left it late.
Yeah, and it's quite positive to see us still going on and getting a result from it. You know, being behind but still having that positive attitude to push on and try and get a result. And also, we looked quite positive as well after we scored. We tried to take that momentum and not say, right, we'll just settle this in the next round or the next game of it. Where we said we'll try out and go and get a winner, and it looked like from what I saw, we were still going right till the end of the whistle and going for it and trying to finish it off early, try and not take it to a replay. So positive signs, and again that positive form is still showing.
I think the best way to describe the game was there was lack of a central midfield on both sides. It was very end to end. Lots of chances, not lots of chances, but chances at both ends. And it did feel like an end to end game most of it. But yeah, it was a good game overall. It was an enjoyable game to watch.
Okay. Tiz, Jamie, what do you see with that result? Obviously, yeah, you've seen the main points of the game. Anything that thoughts?
Well, I'm just happy because the replay, and I can go to this. I live near the Spurs stadium, so
okay, yeah, nice.
If I can get a ticket, I'll be there.
Purely for yourself, you're pretty happy with that. But to be fair, I'll be interested in going and see the new stadium, so we might have another away day on our hands. We've got West Ham's booked and ready for 3 out of the 4 of us, and then also, yeah, we might have a look and see if we can do the Spurs one away. A little midweek one. We did Watford and we've done Villa, so yeah, might be another one to add to the repertoire. Tiz, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just glad we're into the next round, to be honest with you. As in, we're in the next round draw. It gives us a chance. Yeah, I know we haven't won just yet, but it just means that now the fans can see us in another draw. Players, if we get an easier draw as well, it means that there's more of a chance we're going to push through and get to that next round. And we're going because if we play, I don't know, Manchester United, if they doesn't beat Tranmere, maybe then we won't take it as seriously. But if we get Portsmouth for the next round, for example, there's a bigger chance we'll go through.
Yeah, you cut up a little bit there, but you're still very right. It'll be interesting to see who we do get.
Actually, I don't think it really matters because it does fall. The date falls in our so-called winter break where we don't have the Premier League game on that weekend.
Oh, really?
So I don't think it would really make a difference in squad-wise because we don't have that game on that weekend. So I don't think it would really matter who we get drawn against. Wait,
is that?
We're still going to play at probably 100% of full squad.
Is that next? Do you mean by the next round, or is that our replay?
No, our replay date I think is during the winter break that we've got.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Well, I think Ralph Hasenhuttl said that he's going to have to cancel the tour that we were going to go abroad. So I think Mikey's right in that assumption.
That little training camp we were going to try and do.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll be interested to see what actually happens there and whether what it's going to be like when it falls on. But yeah, we can go through the game. Is there anything else that you guys want to kind of mention before we go through the key points? I'll kind of. Well, while you're thinking, Jamie, I'll get them up. Ready? Like I say, Mikey, I'll kind of hand over to you to talk us through the points because you saw it yourself. I've got the summary tweets to say what kind of happened at each point. So yeah, if you can just fill us in on what actually happened, because I've got a kind of decent memory of what happened, but you'll probably
Can you tell me the points to remind me?
Yeah. I'm expertingly filling when I'm getting them up. So
seamless, Ollie, as usual.
Yeah, full 90, mate. But in all honesty, it's all merged into one at this point. So
right, okay. First real chance for Spurs as a pass breaks the lines to find Son in a tight angle on the right. Korean opts to pass and finds it wide. Big test for Angus Gunn in the net today. Okay. Pulls it wide. Okay, so
that chance, it was on the counter attack. We got caught out. Son ran forward, ran at Steve. No, was it Lucas Moura ran at Stevens, and then got the pass off to Son. Son found himself the wrong side of Kevin Danso, and really probably should have hit the target, and he just dragged his shot wide, and he looked quite shocked about it, the fact that he'd missed it, because it was a very good chance for Spurs to get ahead. And in all fairness, up to that point, we'd seemed like we dominated, well, not dominate the game, but we had a lot of the ball, played it round well, we looked comfortable, and then all of a sudden Spurs has already got us on the break. And I think that was sort of how the game was going to go. We were going to dominate the ball, win the ball back high, but as soon as our press gets outdone, Spurs are going to be on the counter and they're going to be dangerous.
Yeah. Okay, fair point. Looking for the next part. What do they say? Nathan Redmond kind of driving us into a couple opportunities as well. A lot of early corners in that first half. Redmond carrying the ball and again full of confidence, so kind of moving us on.
It is great to see when Redmond's full of confidence. He is one of the best wingers in the league, no doubt, because he is fantastic. He took the players on today. He probably, for some reason, he didn't have a shot. I can't remember him having a shot, actually releasing it. So, yeah, it's a little bit strange, but him with his confidence, with his dribbling, it managed to get balls into the box as well. It was fantastic to see him on confidence, because he is a game changer when he is.
Mm-hmm. Next point that I've got, it comes around 30 minutes. I'm coming off here. Apparently, ball through for Lucas, done by Lo Celso, gets in the back of the net, but there was a VAR call. Did it look offside to you? And
it was well off. Shot was taken, it hit Son on the heel, and he was well offside. And it was really, really strange in the stadium, because I think the ref called the offside decision instead of the lino. Because everyone could really see that it was offside, but like the ref was just having a talk with the lino about it, and then about 30 seconds later, the lino stuck his flag up. So yeah, it was a strange one.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing that I saw, and I did actually see this myself. I was really impressed at this. What was it? Gunn makes a good save for Son, I think it was. Where I think it was Son. He got basically 1-on-1. Gunn comes down close, spreads himself well, and catches. Basically, Son tries to slip it right to Angus's left, striker's right, and catches it on his leg to put it wide. Do you recall?
It was Lucas Moura that went through
my mistake. Yeah.
And yeah, it was a fantastic save, because at that point you're thinking, oh, it's 1-0, but it was a fantastic save. Did anyone else have an opinion on this?
It was a very good save.
Very good save. There you go. Yeah.
Thanks, Jamie.
James, seal of approval. Tiz, how do you feel Angus Gunn felt? Coming into this game, he hasn't played for a while, but he's come in against Spurs. It's quite a call to action. Oh, I've just realised we've got our lineup prediction we haven't done. We'll have to.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Well, that can be a half-time break. We'll get up to half-time highlights, and then we'll do that for the half-time game.
Sure.
Is
that the half-time entertainment?
Exactly. That's exactly how it was planned. Half-time entertainment. We're going to we'll look back on our game and see who got the most points. But yes. So, what do you think that save will do to Angus Gunn's confidence coming back into the side against Spurs?
Well, he'll only play cup games anyway, but he's not a bad goalkeeper. Yes, we lost 9-0, but we probably still would have lost 6 or 7 against Leicester if McCarthy was in goal. It's just unfortunate the way he lost his place, because obviously that's going to smash his confidence to pieces. But clean sheet against Huddersfield, played well again today. It just shows that we do have 2 very capable goalkeepers.
Very true, very true. Next point. I need to get the phone up. Yes. The James Ward-Prowse free kick comes in. I can't remember what the foul was from, but Ward-Prowse puts the ball in.
His greatest free kick, isn't it?
Comes up to Ings, who almost chests it, but it gets past Lloris and flicks it towards goal. A bit of an acrobatic effort. And the new bloke, is it the new bloke they've signed?
I thought it was
academy boy.
Academy player.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. Tananga clears it off the line, and I don't know, my pronunciation's shocking, but you'll have to bear with me. Yeah, on the line and heads it clear, and again, good opportunity, but a very good save on their end as well. That almost caught them out and almost got us the lead as well. So good opportunity for us. I'm guessing you guys watched it on the highlights. I assume it dropped up. Your guys thoughts on it?
I thought it was an excellent clearance, to be honest with you. Sometimes you can't be mad at those sorts of clearances. You have to appreciate the effort the player went into.
Very true, Jambo. Cheers, your thoughts on the effort?
For me, there's 3 men on the line. It sounds harsh on the lads, but it's what he's there to do. He had enough time to get himself back on the line, so I think it's just strong. It's just what he's supposed to do, and he did it well. It's like when goalkeepers make a diving save, yet it's still just centre of their goal. It's one that it looks like a good save, but it's still one they should do. So it's a bit of both for me.
Okay.
I argue that he did very well with the covering, because Lloris came sprinting out of his goal for no real reason whatsoever, and he got done with the touch. And you're thinking, if he hasn't used his intelligence to get back onto that line, then we would be 1-0 up. So I think it was good defending. It was an intelligent move from him.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's have a look at the next
just salty.
He's just salty. Just doesn't like the youngsters coming through.
Basically, the next comments are kind of going through about the fact that it was a very high intensity game with a lot of changeover periods and a lot of counter-attacking football, because obviously both teams like that counter-attacking style. I was quite impressed with the actual intensity of the game, because I know it was a cup game, and it seemed like both teams were firing off each other, and as soon as one picked up the ball, they were going down the other. And was it that intense for you in person as well, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like both managers wanted to win. It did feel like a very, very high intensity game, and I think that's what you've got to expect with our side this season. The way that we're playing now, every game's going to be high intensity. It's always going to be a lot of running, and they did work hard for this one. To get to get into the fifth round.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing of highlight really is Armstrong's injury. I was pretty sad to see this when it happened, because he has been such a pivotal part of our, form of recent. So disappointed to see him go down. To me, it looked like a hamstring, or that's certainly what came over in the commentary. Can you remember what happened? Can you recall it for us, Mike?
He just went down on the pitch. There was no one near him. He just went down. So it's muscular at that point. It's nothing to do with any other player. Yeah. Hopefully, because he got taken off straight away, no other damage has been done to it, and he walked off as well. So it's a good sign too. So he might be out for a couple of weeks, but hopefully not for a ridiculous amount of time. Yeah.
Okay. James Ward-Prowse free kick, just right at the D, gets saved by Lloris. Was it close, or was it?
I think Lloris would have always had it covered. It was quite a low hit. I think he tried to hit it into the bottom right hand corner, and Lloris made quite a simple save really. Yeah. He was quite angry. I remember him being quite angry with himself as well. He sort of started yelling at himself while he was running back into position. So he wasn't happy with that one. He should have done better from it really. Should have challenged Lloris a little bit more, because we know what he can do. We know that he can take a better free kick than that. So
yeah. Okay, well that kind of pulls us into half time really. So I'm looking at the stats here at half time. 3 shots for us to their 4, with 2 shots on target for us to their 1. 60% possession for us, which is actually not bad. A couple of passes. Not really an action-packed game. There's a lot of turnover and quite high intensity, but in terms of real chances, there wasn't too many in the first half, if you don't mind me saying. Is that a fair assumption?
Tottenham had 3, I think. They had 3 chances where they probably could have gone in front, or probably should have done better. with the offside goal, Son should have got his leg out the way. It was stupid of him for standing right in front of the goal.
Yeah.
Because it was going. I think it was going in anyway. I don't know if Gunn would have had it cover or not. I'm not too sure. And then Lucas's shot, which was well saved, and Son's that he dragged wide. Southampton-wise, it was only really the Danny Ings chest and flick. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think.
Do you think 0-0 then was a fair assumption going into the half, or do you reckon we were almost quite lucky to still keep it at 0-0?
Spurs probably should have been in front at that point, but the way that we played, we did deserve to be in the game still instead of.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, yeah, that takes us into half-time. Have a look at the stats so we can have a go for our half-time entertainment, as Tizard so elegantly suggested. We'll have a look. Jamie with his toilet paper that he noted it down on. Lovely that. But yeah, we'll have a look at
We're only high tech at this
else.
podcast, nothing else.
Exactly.
No,
I don't like to waste paper like you lot. I'm going to use it up, I'm eco-friendly.
Right. Lovely. That sounds a lot worse when you realise it is clean toilet paper, isn't it, Jabbo?
No comment. No comment.
Okay, right. Well, I can run you through the actual side as we go. So Gunn did start in goal. Did anyone say Gunn?
I said Gunn.
Fair play.
I said.
Yeah. Aaron, you're going to speak. It's a podcast, mate. Don't just shake your head.
No, because all of you moan at me when I speak, so I just said yes.
We haven't been moaning, but...
So the audio viewers and the YouTube viewers.
Okay. Right, and then what? Should we go from left to right? Because left is pretty surefire. Bertrand. I'm guessing everyone said Bertrand, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yep. Right. Okay. So Bertrand. I said Yoshida Stevens, but it was Stevens Bednarek. Anyone say Stevens
Bednarek?
I said Stevens Bednarek.
Yep. Stevens Bednarek. Same here, so it's just you.
It's just me who made the battle. And then I said Ward-Prowse at right back, which isn't right, but I guess he did play. So do I get a point for that?
Nope.
I don't know. It depends if you win in the end or not.
Hey.
It depends if you win in the end or not.
Well, I still lose a point from defensive midfield.
Yeah, you didn't play the position you wanted him to.
No, but he did play.
Doesn't work like that. And you put him down.
Jamie, stop being difficult. Let him have a point.
Yeah.
No.
Right, decided. Do I get the point?
Saying, but it's not like he's put someone else. He's not like he's put Dancer at CDM. He's put Mayo at CDM.
Yeah. So I'm still gonna lose a point anyway. Come on, be nice.
Yeah.
1 point up.
I'll let you have it.
Yeah. Okay.
You do all the points you can get.
I'm 4 out of 5 at the moment. Are you guys? Wait. So you guys are all 5 out of 5 at the moment?
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Wait, does everyone say Dancer at right back?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I did.
Did you, Jeremy, or did you?
Show us for the.
That's right there, mate.
Oh yeah, that's.
Oh, that was
I do not believe anything of that.
Brilliant.
I put Kane Ramsey at right back, but he didn't even make the bench, so that's how well that went.
Who'd you put?
I put Kevin Danso as our right back.
Fair play. I put. Okay, right. We'll go into defensive midfielders, the double pivots. Romeo and Højbjerg I went for, so I get 1 out of 2. What did you guys put?
I put Ward-Prowse and Højbjerg.
Yep, so Mikey for me.
Jamie, what'd you put?
I put Højbjerg-Prowse.
Oh, really? Okay.
I really don't believe you.
I really do.
It's just the way you say it.
Yeah, I can't see that. Show that to the camera so we can actually have a look.
You can't see it. Oh, I showed you, boys. I got all the right side.
Stop flapping it around, right?
Right.
He's got Valerie at right back.
that says Kevin Danso, mate.
Oh my god. Right, do we even
my scum.
Just do it if it... Oh my god.
Okay, right, so wingers, or number 10 as Ralph called them. I put Armstrong and Gineppo, so 1 out of 2 for me. Did you guys get it right? What did you put?
Armstrong and Boufal.
Yeah,
I actually got this one right.
Actually, so we know the other ones for me. Okay.
Stuart Armstrong and Nathan Redmond.
Okay, fair play. And then I know me and Jamie said Obafemi Adams because we
talked. Yeah.
So I got 1 out of 2 for that. I did really poorly. What did you put up front?
I had Ings and Adams. So I got 1.
Okay. Yeah, I had Ings and Adams as well. So
one of
the 2 for
Pot them up then, boys. See how many you got. Jamie, actually tell the
9.
truth.
Are we including the result in this or not? Because
actually, because Boufal scores the winner, I think me and Mikey said that Boufal would start. I think we should get an extra point because
we shouldn't.
No, that's
not how it works.
That doesn't work. No.
Those aren't the rules.
I got the right prediction as well. Actually.
Wait, so
I got 6 out of 11.
I should have just put gun at striker and Ings at goal, and then I still would have got the 2 points.
So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 11. Really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 out of 11 for me. Not good.
Thanks for counting twice. I got 8.
Wait, so what did everyone else get? I got 6, which I'm assuming is the worst.
I got 8.
For
Jamie's probably could have been worse because it's Jamie.
You got 8.
He's just changing.
Wait, shut up, Mikey.
Yeah,
he's just
are you
changing.
going to give us a proper result? Or
I got the score right, so it's fine.
Right, so he put. I cannot see that. And
you have Yoshi on yours as well. This is ridiculous.
Why Yoshida? Yeah. I'll let you set that light.
Oh my days.
Guys, for people who aren't seeing what's happening, Jamie trying to be theatrical and set a light is. Set a light is. Oh my god. You set a light is toilet paper. I'm hoping he hasn't got carpet because he might be.
Good, don't worry.
Have you got ladder carpet?
My floors wouldn't. I didn't think it'd go up that fast.
Well, I'm going to carry on because I want to keep this in. Yeah, if you haven't, I urge you, please, if you're listening right now, go to the YouTube.
Go
this
to
video,
Twitter because Harry would have clipped it and it's going to be on our Twitter. Go and have a look at that.
Yeah.
Jamie,
that is just instantly put pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah, well, we do. This isn't this is a kind of. I'm basically filling while we're waiting for Jamie to get back, probably from. Patching up his burn.
I got 9 out of 11. I'll just say that. I got 9 out of 11.
Well done,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, but
I actually got 9 out of 11.
Go and have a look on the Twitter. Go and have a look on the YouTube if you're going to want to go and see that, because trust me, that is something you don't want to miss. The shock on his face when that went up. That's poetry.
The confidence and how dramatic he wanted to make it.
Yeah.
And then you just see his panicked face as he's realising, actually, I can actually burn down the flat.
Well, hey, what else half-time entertainment you got? We even got the fire show that you get before, the second half starts. So that's perfect, isn't it? We've had our half-time.
That's gone. I think the club's gone eco-friendly. We're no longer burning oil.
No. So...
Do not try and burn your toilet roll at home, please.
Thanks,
Let's put that out there, because that's what happens.
Could become on like a firework advert or something like that, like Balotelli did.
There we go. Well... God, all right, let's try and get this back on traction.
Start the second half.
Start at the second.
We can't. Should we just end it now? We can't beat that. We can't beat that individual moment.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about any of the goals. Let's just end it here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, give me a second. Second half is back underway. Jamie, I don't know where he's gone, but we'll carry on while we go in. Chance for Southampton. Saints FC nick it back from a Lloris goal kick. Play it fast down the right and get a cross in for Ings, who goes for a back heel that ends up wide. No replay. No replays. Oh, right, okay. Just didn't say it. I think I remember this one, but yeah, Mikey, you can fill us in on the details.
It went really close.
Is this the one where he kind of did the... I always remember it as body.
It was like a really slight touch, wasn't it? Right on the edge of the box, and he gets pushed in the back.
Do you remember when... I think, Vardy did it for internationally before he retired. He kind of flicks it with a back leg, lets it run across his body and flicks it across.
Against Germany.
Yeah, and... It basically, just goes across the box rather. It doesn't quite get there, but yeah. Good chance. Was it Obafemi that put the ball in the box? Am I right saying that?
I got no clue, mate.
I think it is. Don't know. Sub for Spurs, Lamella on for Fernandes, but the next thing that comes up is the Spurs goal. Where who I can't remember her. Son finishes it off, but there was a mazy run by
Lo Celso.
That's it, yeah.
Lo Celso picked the ball up in his own half, dribbled past like 5 of our players, and they should have done better. They didn't.
Yeah.
I think we eventually took him out. It went through to Lucas Moura, who I think just played it across. Dele Alli then takes out Kevin Danso off the ball.
Yeah.
And allowing Son to have about like 10 yards of space to pick his spot and just drill it past Angus Gunn.
Yeah, so I've seen the replays for this. They checked for an offside first, which he was onside for. They got their lines out, and suddenly you think, oh, he might actually, but no, he was onside.
He was only onside because Danso got pushed over.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the next thing they checked. You see Dele Alli come across and basically collide with Danso and just push him straight onto the floor. So Son has all that space and time, and they watched it a good few times, changed the camera angle and looked at it, and then came to the conclusion that there's no foul. But for me, that he's interfering with play there, and that's a foul off the ball. And I don't really know. I'd like to know the explanation to why that didn't get called up. Jamie, Tiz, your thoughts on the push?
Well, it was literally a blatant foul, in my opinion, anyway. So I don't get how they managed to get away with that, because that would have affected the goal.
Yeah.
If he wasn't fouled, so I don't know. It's annoying.
Yeah. Tiz, you're in agreement?
I get they must have thought it's a subjective decision, and because they took so long, we keep saying that if they take that long, it's not clear and obvious. So in that aspect, for them it wasn't clear and obvious. So for that reason, it probably wasn't. But in my opinion, as a Saints fan, I probably would say yes. It'd be interesting to know, say a fan from each club votes, is that a foul, is that not a foul? And it'd be interesting to see what the percentage is.
Yeah, fair point.
I think I'd be more mad if it was the decider of the game or not. If we didn't draw, I think I'd be a bit more annoyed. Where it's fine. We'll beat him at home, so that's fine.
Yeah, I can't really remember between the goal and it was kind of building momentum, but we had a couple of subs on. First subs, Boufal for Danso. Am I right in saying that? I can't seeing that on the. Talking about it now.
Boufal did come on first, didn't he? Yeah.
The first sub rather was Stuart Armstrong came off for Gineppo, but that's the kind of injury one. First tactical substitution is probably the best way to put it. Kevin Danso for Boufal on 71. How do you reckon that changed the formation, and how do we line up from there?
Well, we had three at the back. We had Bertrand, Benrick as the central one, and Stevens as our right centre back. And it did feel like Bertrand and Stevens were coming forward quite a bit. Stevens was given basically a free role as a centre-back to go pretty much wherever he wants. And I think it was just a one-on-one Lucas Moura and Bednarek. So I think we're quite fine there. The two CDMs stayed the same in Højbjerg and Ward-Prowse. We had Gineppo on the left, Redmond played on the right as basically wing backs, and then Boufal had a free role in behind Ings and Obafemi at that point.
Okay, yeah. And then Obafemi came off shortly after. I think it's less than 3 minutes, and then Obafemi comes off for Che Adams. So you've kind of got that target man.
It was quite nice with 20 minutes to go. We went for it, which was just quite nice to see that we did try and change the formation, change the way we played. And it worked because we had so many men forward, they couldn't mark them all. Because the way we pressed, by the time that we won the ball back, we had 5 or 6 options up there from the press, and they had 4 or 5 defenders. So it's basically evens on that attack. And it showed from the goal that Boufal was free on the edge of the box because Tottenham didn't have many players back, and we had so many forwards. We went for it, and we were pretty much going to get a chance from it anyway.
Next thing of note was Danny Ings coming inside. I think, to be honest, I'm not too sure, but it's the left, so it's probably Gineppo or maybe Boufal that gave it to him. He kind of comes inside and gets a bit half yard of space, hits it across goal, and it kind of glances. It's a good chance, and it's a good effort on Ings' side. Well, you got another building chance for us, and we look like we're coming into this game a lot more.
No, you go, Jamie. You go.
It's just annoying, this game. It's very frustrating. Just having Danny Ings just couldn't get one in today.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just unlucky because obviously we can't expect too much of him because we are always relying on a goal. Today wasn't his day.
No.
It can be seen unlucky, but also it could be like wrong choices because Ings shot from like 25, 30 yards out. It felt like, and it went like quite a distance wide. While he could have played Redmond through, there were options forward that he could have done. And I mean, I know he's got the goal and he's probably earned like the right to shoot from there. He basically can shoot wherever he wants, and hardly anyone can complain. But if Redmond's in a better position further up the pitch and there's a better chance of scoring, play it.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was the highlights, but I thought it didn't look too far away. I thought it looked quite close.
It was like two yards wide or something.
Lloris had to it's not like he wasn't confident that he was going wide. He did have to do a full kind of dive in to make sure he did have his post covered. So yeah, for me, when I was looking at it, I thought it looked quite close, but maybe it was.
From the moment it left his boot, I thought it was wide. So
okay, yeah. Next Ings chance really. Redmond gets himself free on the right, puts the ball in, and basically, yeah, Ings comes in, drops back, and basically a free header, really, isn't it? And puts it again to wide. But I think that was probably the closest chance we had so far from that point. Would you agree?
And that's where he should be doing better.
Yeah.
I know he scored the ridiculous amounts of goals that he has, but he's basically on the edge of the 6-yard box, free header, the goal at his mercy, and he's put it wide. So
yeah. Well, what do you reckon, Tiz, Jamie? Seeing like we obviously we have to appreciate the amount of goals he's got this season, but still as a striker, 6 yards out, should he be doing? He should be doing better there, shouldn't he?
Just one more point. If that was Shane Long, he'd be having his contract shouted at and terminated at that point. So that's
Just because he's in great form doesn't mean we should let him off for missing those sorts of chances. Like, he's done fantastic for us, yes, but he'll know as much as anyone that should be hitting the back of the net.
Yeah, it's true. Jamie, any thoughts?
So it's just a frustrating game at the end of the day. We can't expect him to score every chance.
No,
he's not like Shane Long where he scores every goal.
What was not quite nice about it though is at the end of the game, Ralph pretty much ran straight to Ings and sort of just went to him. It was an off day. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Like you still play. He still played well. It was just he couldn't get a ball in the net, and that was the problem. But I think he was quite frustrated with himself, and it was quite nice to see Ralph go over him straight away and just sort of try and make it better.
Reassure him.
Yeah.
Next chance has to probably be the Boufal chance, right? We've got to talk about it. Brilliant. Ings down the left, is it? I believe goes down, kind of cuts it back across. I thought Che Adams was maybe near the end of it, but kind of had his back towards goal. Boufal comes in and smacks it top bins and gets us back in the game. Brilliant moment. What was the stadium like at that point? I imagine it roared, didn't it, Mike?
Oh, it was fantastic. Boufal, really good positioning on the edge of the box, and thankfully he tapped it home beautifully, which was very nice. And I would recommend on BBC Radio Solent on their Twitter. Have Adam Blackmore's commentary of it. It's fantastic. It really does pay well to the goal. Fantastic first
does
time.
It justice. Tiz, Jamie, you've seen the highlights of it. Take us through it. How are you feeling?
It is funny how that's still not one of his best goals. That's still probably Spurs' best out of his 4. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, it's a good finish under what is a pressured circumstance. That winner stays on mentality. That if we lose that, we're out the FA Cup, and Ralph has put importance on this cup. So it's a good finish under quite some pressure.
Well, we all know I'm a big Sofiane Boufal fan. I love that man, and I thought it was a great goal.
Yeah,
I think it's a nice good first time finish. And what more don't you love?
And we've
Sofiane Boufal and scoring amazing goals.
And we've seen both Boufal and Gineppo play in that game. Now Armstrong's position is most likely moved out, or it is now available. Who do you think's making their way for that position for the next game? Do you think Boufal with a goal, or do you think Gineppo was still, who do you think who's made their mark for that position today?
I didn't really see much highlights of Gineppo or Boufal, to be honest, in the 10-minute clips I saw. So, Mike, from you being there, who made more of an impact in your opinion?
Gineppo was quite quiet when he came on. He didn't really affect the game that much, but none of the subs did apart from the goal. The thing is, Boufal was a very frustrating player, but I want to see him start because I know what he can do.
Yeah.
If he can do it for those 90 minutes, he's going to be one hell of a player. But he needs to work. He needs to want to play as the team and not just the individual.
Yeah.
And I would like to see him start over Gineppo, but it's a tough one, really. Because you're going to get the work rate with Gineppo, but you're probably going to get a better player from Boufal. So it's sort of thing.
And the next game is going to be Liverpool, isn't it? So we'll cover what our thoughts are going to be. We'll have press conferences, which Mike will keep us up to date for in the next episode. So we can kind of have a better look at the time when we can. So we'll cover it in more depth there and kind of give our analysis of what we think of the 11 will be. So we'll have a look at that a bit later. But yeah, Tiz, if you want to give your thoughts just quickly before we'll cover it in more detail. Well, yeah, who do you think will be the better choice?
For me, it's not based on this game at all. I feel it's whoever Ralph thinks has the best chance of beating Andy Robertson on that are right, but they're left hand sides, because Redmond's got Trent. It's who he thinks has got the best chance at beating Robertson.
Yeah, fair play. And do you think we are going to see the player come straight in to fulfil that right hand side, or do you think he might potentially put Redmond on the right hand side on his right foot and then allow to bring a naturally left-footed player onto the left?
No, I think Redmond's been in great form in that left-hand side. I wouldn't move something that's working already. Yeah. And for that right-hand side, I know Boufal scored today, but a lot of the time, I say that we saw it against Crystal Palace, we saw it against today that the wingers are scoring, but it is more about just being able to beat your man and put the ball in for Danny Ings. So it's got to be the most well-rounded player for the Liverpool game for me.
Yeah, and you got to say, if worse comes to worse and it's not working, you can just switch it halfway through. It's not that much of a difference to the.
What you could do, because Liverpool's going to keep the ball. They're going to have a very strong midfield three. You could bring Romeu in and move Ward-Prowse higher up the pitch. That could be another option, and that's what we saw between this season and last season, is Ward-Prowse moving into an attacking midfielder role. So that could also happen too.
Yeah, not a bad shout. We might as well sum up the last little bits of the game, because there was a little bit of it was all guns blazing for that last kind of 5 minutes or so. So we'll kind of cover the last bits. Jack Stevens, I saw this myself. I thought it was a brilliant block. Son gets free down our left-hand side and comes into a bit of space, and Jack Stevens with a big sliding block to stop that challenge and a shot on target, at least in the last minutes of the game. An important kind of block there. And then finally a Lo Celso free kick, which was pretty disappointing, really. Kind of, I think it was... No, I was going to say it was Danso, but that was a different one, wasn't it? When Danso brought a player down just on the edge of the box. The Lo Celso one was a little bit further out again, but didn't really trouble Gunn too much.
I honestly can't remember it.
Yeah, there was two. There was a Lucas Moura one where Danso just kind of jumps on a player almost and brings him down, literally outside the 18-yard box, but Moura just hits it hard and it's quite easy for Gunn. And like I say, the Lo Celso one was a little bit further out and he got it up, but it wasn't quite on target and just kind of went quite over, really. Not too much to worry about. And I think that's it pretty much for the highlights. So a kind of action-packed, not massive amount of goals, but a lot of chances and a lot of it end-to-end, and quite a busy game, really. Do you think Mourinho will take a point, or is he going to be disappointed that he didn't hold on to his result?
Take a point.
Well,
so what do you want about? Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think Mourinho would rather have So you threw off there. He'd rather got he wouldn't want the replay.
I've really thrown you off, haven't I? Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, I don't know why I'm saying would he take a point. He would have thought he should have had the free, really, shouldn't he?
But do you think that, because Ralph's came out and said that he wants the FA Cup replay scrapped? Do you think what I think they should do now for FA Cups, just a bit off topic, is before the game, both managers say, like, they decide whether they want a replay or not, and then that's how they decide if there's a replay, just on the individual occasion, not if it's a big team against a small team, because we know that's a lot different. But if it's two big teams and both the managers say, yes, we want it settled now, then I think you should be allowed to settle it in extra time.
Possibly, but then it's kind of, where do you draw the line, really? Because you could find big teams saying, look, I'm already in, like you look at Liverpool and they're saying, look, I'm in all these different competitions and I played these amount of games. If two big teams are allowed to decide whether they want to settle it, I think we're in our rights to ask if we can settle it as well, and we want to categorically state we do not want replays. Whereas if they,
No, I don't get that. Why should the big teams be allowed to do it, but the small teams not? The small teams have 46 games to play in a season.
Yeah,
they're the ones that that are playing the ridiculous amount of games. Premier League teams play every Saturday and some Wednesdays. Pretty much the Championship is Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday for the entire season.
Yeah.
So, and if they want, I don't get why the Premier League feel that they're entitled to go, oh yeah, we don't want replays, because this is how the non-league gets their funding.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why.
Until 12 o'clock at night, people were queuing for the Tranmere Rovers tickets to go and see them play against Man United. Like, this is what, and that only happened because of a replay. So, like, it also brings excitement too. You get more football. You get football on a weekday, and you get to see your team play again. I don't know why people will be against replays apart from the slight risk of injury that you could have, which could happen in any game.
And let's be honest, like, if it wasn't for replays, us four won't have a potential away day to Tottenham and see again another ground that I really want to see. Apparently, it's one of the best stadiums in the country. And if it's a non-league team, it brings in ever more important finances into their club. If they do bring it to a replay, it becomes a much more tactical game. They say, well, it's almost better financially for us to bring it into a draw rather than win the game outright. It's a completely different game, and that's why the FA Cup is a completely different competition.
Yeah. I just think it's just if the managers agree, if one says no, one says yes, there's not going to be there's going to be a replay. I just think if they agree, that's the sort of thing. I prefer replays because I just want more football. That's more opportunities for me to go places. Yeah. I just think from their position, if they both say yes, don't have a replay, have extra time. If one says no, one say yes. No. If one says no, one says yes. That's when we have a replay.
Okay. Yeah, Jamie, what do you reckon then? How do you reckon it should go?
It's just the professional athletes getting paid ridiculous amount of money, and they complain about playing one more game of football. It's not that deep at the end of the day.
I despise Guardiola. I absolutely, because he's called for the abolishment of the League Cup and the abolishment of replays. Who does he think he is? He's not the head of the FA, so just like go away. No one cares because you're still going to play a replay. Thing is, they could play their full strength side. They could play their third strength side and probably still have a better side than we do. So it doesn't make a difference to him because he's basically bought 3 squads worth of players. He's got the best depth in the Premier League. Why the hell is he complaining?
Very true. Very true. Okay, so we'll probably do a preview to the FA Cup at some point. Hopefully, anyway. So.
Oh, that's another 2 podcasts. So you guys are lucky. You guys,
exactly.
You guys are bloody
there
lucky.
You go.
Hear our lovely voices from them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's got to be another reason for a replay. Right? Yeah. Get 2 more podcasts, so we can.
Saying? Don't scrap the replays. Let's have more replays. Let's have replays if the next replay's a draw.
More replays, more podcasts.
Replays on replays.
So there we go. So yeah, there'll probably be a preview and a reaction to the FA Cup game. We might go to it, so we might have a kind of away day feature like we had last time. But we'll also have a preview for the Liverpool game, which will be out Friday morning. So stay tuned for that. Best way to stay tuned, have a look on the Twitter. Like I say, there's going to be a mini clip of today's episodes, just in case you did listen to it and you want to see what happened. I mean, the Jamie setting himself on fire is probably the most entertaining part of it. So stay tuned for that. Have a look. So it's at Saints Prime Pod.
Who knew toilet paper goes on fire so fast?
Who knew?
Oh
right?
My God!
Yeah. So mini clips, and of course on Friday, as soon as the episodes do go live, you'll have links directly to take them to your favourite podcasting platform, so you can go and give it a listen. Questions as well. We want your questions sent in, and they come through the Instagram. Now, Tizar's going to give you the details. Go ahead, Tiz.
Saints Prime on the Instagram on the Wednesday. I'll put the questions up. You put your submissions in, and we'll answer them on the preview podcast.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention it as well. But if you can leave a review, if you have been enjoying the episodes recently, because we have been, we've been upping them to 2 a week now to try and get as much out as possible. If you can leave a review on whatever you're listening to, Apple or Spotify, whatever, it does really help us because it allows more people to find them, and it just shows your appreciation for the episode. So if you don't mind leaving a review, we'll shout out. If some people do leave reviews, we'll shout you out on the next episode just for your support. It will really help us out and get us out there. So yeah, if you don't mind doing that, taking 30 seconds of your time, would really appreciate that. So yeah, it's been me, Ollie. I've also been joined by
Harry,
Jamie,
and there we go. Thank you much for listening. We'll catch you. We'll catch you on Friday. Keep the faith. Up the Saints.